Hello, today we discuss about drug development and approval process in which contains drug discovery and drug design, biological characterization, early formulation study, the investigational new drug application and the new drug application. The Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act as regulated through Title 21 of the US Code of Federal Regulations requires a new drug to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration before it may be legally introduced in interstate commerce. To gain approval for marketing a drug sponsor, example pharmaceutical companies, must demonstrate through supporting scientific evidence that new drug or drug product is safe and effective for its proposed use. The sponsor must also demonstrate that the various processes and controls used in producing the drug substance and in manufacturing, packaging, and labeling are properly controlled and validated to ensure that the product meets established standards. The process and time course of drug discovery to approval for marketing can be divided into following process. New chemical entity formulations pre-formulation studies define the physical and chemical properties. Formulation studies develop the initial features of the proposed pharmaceutical product or doses from investigational new drug application for initial testing in humans. Preclinical and clinical studies, phase 1 initial testing in humans, phase 2, phase 3 progressive human trials, new drug application, seeking approval to market the new products. Content of products approved, labeling, essential chemistry, pharmacology, toxicology, indications and contraindications for use, adverse effects, formulation composition, dosage and storage requirements, treatment IND orphan drug, supplemental new drug applications, SNDA, abbreviated new drug application, gain approved to market a duplicate antibiotic drug, biologics, medical devices, drug discovery and drug design. Sources of new drugs, a goal drug, method of drug discovery, lead compound, prodrugs. Sources of new drugs means new drugs may be discovered from a variety of natural sources or synthesized in the laboratory. Plant materials have served as a reservoir of potential new drugs. New vaccines for diseases as AIDS and cancer are being developed through the use of cell and tissue cultures. A new era in the development of pharmaceutical products comes forth as a result of the event of genetic engineering, the manipulation of the genetic engineering double helix, the spiral DNA chain of life. New R&D challenges, resource constraints, discovery revolution, time constraint, drug discovery, preclinical development, and clinical development. Introduction and history of pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance, definition, the science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse events or any other drug related problems. Pharmacovigilance, it gives drug safety. It is the pharmacological science relating to the collection, detection, assessment, monitoring, and prevention of adverse reaction with pharmaceutical products. In a detection, for example, in case of clinical trial, it is the investigator, or in case of post-marketing trial, it's either the physician or the prescriber or the patient himself who report the adverse event or drug related problem. In assessment, for example, the investigator or the healthcare professional, that is SCB, would be assessing if the adverse event or drug related problems is due to the drug or is it due to some other reason. In understanding, the reporter and safety specialist is involved in the understanding the adverse event or drug related problem. In prevention, by proactively reporting the adverse event or drug related problem to the regulatory authority and taking precautionary actions would help in preventing the adverse event in future. Thalidomide disaster. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, the use of thalidomide in 46 countries by women who are pregnant or who subsequently become pregnant resulted in the biggest man-made medical disaster ever, resulting in more than 10,000 children born with a range of severe deformities such as phocomelia as well as thousands of miscarriages. Aims and aims and scope in pharmacovigilance. Patient care to improve patient care and safety in relation to medicines and all the medical and paramedical interventions. Public health to improve public health and safety in relation to the use of medicines. Risk benefit assessment to contribute to the assessment of benefit, harm, effectiveness, and risk of medicines. In a communication to promote understanding, clinical training, effective communication to health professionals and the public. Objectives of pharmacovigilance is the objective of pharmacovigilance is the reduction of the frequency and the severity of adverse effects of drugs while maintaining or better improving their efficacy. The quality of drugs more particularly depends on the pharmaceutical industry and the authorities responsible for their approval on the market and their withdrawal if necessary and recommendation for their use. Why pharmacovigilance? Humanitarian concern, safe use of medicine, ADRs are expensive, promoting rational use of medicine and adherence, ensuring public confidence, ethical concerns. Dying from a disease is sometimes unavoidable, but dying from a medicine is unacceptable. Why do we need pharmacovigilance? Humanitarian concern, ADR may cause sudden death, promoting rational use of medicine and adherence. Ethics, to know the something that is harmful another person who does not know and not telling is unethical. Why do we need pharmacovigilance? It has been suggested that ADRs may cause 5,700 deaths per year in UK. ADRs were fourth, fourth and sixth common cause of death in the US in 1994. Humanitarian concern, insufficient evidence of safety from clinical trials, animal experiments. ADRs are expensive. What information should be reported? Any information or on an ADR or lack of efficacy connected with the use of medical device or drug product on ADRs occurring in the course of the use of a drug from drug overdose, whether accidental or intentional, from drug abuse, misuse, non-approved use, from drug withdrawal in the infant of nursing mother, possibly as a result of exposure of the mother or the fetus during pregnancy, even if no ADRs has been observed, from drug overdose, whether accidental or intentional, from drug abuse, misuse, non-approved use, from drug administration during pregnancy. In a ADRs which take medical staff, medical ROP, pharmacovigilance, exclusive, regulatory, communication, risk mitigation, medical advisors to patient, doctor. Overview of ICSR's processing, reception of case, validation and duplicate check, logging of the case, triage, data entry, quality review, medical review, case closure, generate report from submission. What should be reported? For the new drugs, all suspected reactions, including the minor or mild in severity adverse events, should be reported. For established or well-known drugs, all serious, unexpected, unusual ADRs, if there is a change in the frequency of given reaction, that is increase in frequency of event of vomiting for a particular drug, all suspected drug 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 food supplement interaction supplement statement highlighting marine source of supplements such as glucosamine, so that can be avoided by those with allergy to seafood. ADRs associated with drug withdrawals. ADRs due to medications error. For example, the drug was prescribed intravenously, but the patient took the drug subcutaneously. Areas due to lack of efficacy or suspected pharmaceutical defects. For example, the drug was showing the effects, but suddenly the new batch of drug failed to show any efficacy. Who will report the adverse event? Adverse events can be reported by physicians, hospitals, pharmaceutical manufacturers through medical representatives. Example, pharmacist or nurse. Not only patients but also their friends, relatives, etc. can report the adverse events. In short, anybody, either the person consuming the drug or the person knowing the patient or observing the event, can report the adverse event. Periodic reporting in EU, USA and Japan. Europe, every 6 months in the first 2 years following authorization and or marketing, every year in the next 3 years, every 5 years thereafter. In USA, paid quarterly during the first 3 years and annual reports thereafter. In Japan, every 6 months for 2 years, annually for the 3 following years, and then every 5 years. Recently banned drugs in India. Serodiagnostic test kits for diagnosis of tuberculosis with effect from 7 June 2013. Dextropropoxifen with effect from 23 May 2013. Fixed dose combination of flupentazole plus miltracine with effect from 18 June 2013. Analgin with effect from 18 June 2013. Pioglitazone with effect from 18 June 2013.